So, what's the difference between this hat and this hat? Today, we're going to be talking all about what you should be paying attention to when you are going to buy your fall hats. What's up, all you good fellow fly guys? It's the Cat in the Hat, your resident fly guy, your chief architect, Michael Landrew of StarArchitects.com, here to help you align your image with your identity so that it always leaves a lasting impact. Now, here on this channel, you can expect to learn about the whys behind the how-tos so that you are creating a closet that is going to fit your character and ultimately tell your story. So, if that sounds like something that you would be interested in, please consider subscribing. I would love to be a character in your lifestyle story. If you have already subscribed, like Derek Moore Sr., then you know that I appreciate you. And now, all you have is one more thing left to do, and that is hit that notification bell, and that way you will be notified each and every time new content comes out. Now, today is Mad Hatter Monday, so today we will be talking all about hats, the different things that you need to know about hats so you can go out and make sure that you're making qualitative purchases and that you are getting something that is actually going to speak to the king that you are. And I wanted to talk to you about two things, and that is quality and value. Now, when it comes to your clothing, when it comes to your hats, and when it comes to your life, a lot of people place value ahead of quality. So what they will do is they'll say, I got a great value for this item, even if it is poor quality. And in reality, you didn't get a great value for it if it's going to fall apart on you before you get it. Now, looking at these two hats, you may not think that there's anything different with them. Now, this hat I have had for about 15 years. It was one of the first hats that I ever got. But the reality of it is I had it for a long time, not because I wear it, but simply for nostalgia. This was a wool felt hat, and we'll talk about how this is constructed in a future video. And it got pretty decent wear when I first got it, but I didn't really take care of it. I spent about $60 on it and was cool with that. And because of that, it has not worn well. And even if I had taken care of it, to be honest with you, it would have worn better, but it still wouldn't have worn as well, simply because of how it's constructed. Now, just to speak a little bit about it, this has a fabric headband, which does not absorb sweat really well, so it was always seeping through and getting on my headband, which was causing all types of sweat stains. The felt was a very cheap felt, so it meant that the item was going to get all types of dust and stuff like on there, even when I would brush it, or I would add some tape to it to get the dust or the felt off. And the band was always like crumpling, as you can see right here. So it was $60, and it did pay for itself, through my wear, but it wasn't really a qualitative hat, and because of that, I didn't really value it as much. Now, this next hat was a hat that was actually given to me, but definitely appraised it, and it's probably worth about $400. This is a cashmere and fur felt hat that I received from my big bro at Flame Cupid's Hat Club, so shout out to you guys. And this is, like I said, a fur felt hat with a little bit of cashmere in it, and I've had this for about 5 years, and over the course of that time have really learned how to pay attention and take care of my hat, steaming it, making sure that it's getting brushed, adding some different types of cleaning methods that I have learned to maintain the hat, how to brush in a certain pattern to maintain the patina and the luxuriousness of the hat. And then also, as you can see, this one doesn't have a hat band because we were switching it, but it actually encouraged me to learn how to put my own hat bands on. So this one, you can see, has a leather sweatband. Well, you may not be able to see it, but it has a leather sweatband which absorbs the sweat much better. The felt, because it's a high quality felt, is much easier to clean. It looks better once it's cleaned, and it keeps the dirt and grime and everything else from life, off of this hat. And even if it wasn't being taken care of as well as it should be, which it isn't, in all honesty, it still is maintaining its shape. It's still maintaining its wear, and it will last me for years to come. So why is this important? Well, when it comes into your purchases, especially when it comes to hats or other accessories. A lot of guys will say, let me skimp on the quality because it's just an accessory. But we forget that accessories, especially like our hats, which are representations of our crowns, how we carry ourselves, are going to actually promote themselves probably before we do. So even in those small accessories where the devil or God lies, it's important for you to make sure that you're making qualitative investments. So what does that quickly look like? Well, if you're making a qualitative investment, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're spending a whole lot of money on the piece. That just simply means that you understand the construction and the make of the piece. And generally, if you're speaking about heritage brands, these things are going to have qualitative elements to them just because they had to pay attention to handwork, they had to pay attention to the way something was constructed. And so that's a good telltale sign that you're getting a quality product. You also want to pay attention to the different types of components that the hat or the accessory or the clothing is made of. And we're going to talk about the different types of qualities in future videos, but I just want you to get into the mindset of thinking about quality in that way. Because if you are thinking about qualities that you want not only in your clothing, that will then translate into the rest of your life. Think about it. If you are willing to use qualitative things for what you put on your body, I would then deduce that you're probably going to start making quality investments in what you put in your body, what you put into your mind, and who you put yourself around. So all these things are going to be a recognition for how you are approaching your life. And based on those qualities, people will begin to see what you value. Because what you value, you often put your time and your money behind. So these are just a few things that I want you to try on. Understand that the construction is always going to be paramount because it's going to speak to the intent behind the clothing. And it's important for you to understand that the qualitative elements of your hat and the rest of your accessories and clothing are going to always promote the values that you hold inside. So I want you to try that on, see how it fits you. If the video was beneficial to you, go ahead and put 100 in the comment box and answer this question of the day. What qualities do you actually value when you are going out and making your purchase? Leave that in the comment box as well. If you found the video informative, go ahead and give this a thumbs up. You know it helps the channel to grow. And share this with a friend. You never know. There may be somebody going out and buying a hat who needs some advice and some perspective when it comes to these things. This could be extremely helpful for them. And above all, don't ever forget that dress is nothing more than the expression of a man's state of mind. So you, yes you, should always dress to express. See you next time. Peace.